welcome if we were creative. Song Disney Jack every single time it's over. Anyway, here we go, gentlemen. The champ is here. Charlie.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It took a long while to get here, but made it to the top. And nobody's taking this belt from me.
About time someone beat Roman Reigns. Anyway.
Adam, how you doing tonight?
Yeah.
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. We have plenty to talk about and plenty to keep going through here a little bit. So hop right off into this. It's Mania season. I look forward to this all time of year, all year. Get through. Now we have just a few weeks till we get to WrestleMania. What builds have your attention? I'll start with you, and why?
As much as I was excited for Bayley and EO, that is flattened fast. Big flat. There's like nothing to gain my interest anymore. I'm still looking forward to the match.
Right.
But I don't know how you can't be excited for this tag match that we have between Rock and Roman and Cody and Seth, who we know is going to win that match, is going to be Rock and Roman. Question is how does that match go down? Who gets the pin? How does that turn into the night 2? And again, apparently stipulation is it's bloodline rules if Rock and Roman win, which means now for Cody to finish the story, which I think even sets up even bigger, it's Cody versus the entire bloodline. We don't know when Seth's World Heavyweight Championship match is going to be. That's the thing. We have no clue.
Right.
Like, are we going to get a debut? Are we going to get a return? I've heard someone share John Moxley to WWE for one night and WWE share someone with AEW for a night. That's not happening. I don't see that happening. I mean, that's how Cody's going to overcome everyone again, except this time with legal interference. I have no idea. Going to be interesting storytelling.
Okay. Charlie, how about you? What are you looking at, and what's at your attention right now?
Oh man! So after last night's Raw, I am very excited for my man Sami Zayn and Gunther at the for the title.
You're saying Barber, right? The Sammy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's my guy, man. That's my cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hair, everything. We got the same bald spot back here too, man. No, but no, because look, here's the thing. Like I've made it clear I'm a big fan of KO and Sami Zayn, and they've split, and I feel like they've been kind of trying to find a storyline for Sami, because he deserves one. He's very, very likable. Like, people love him. He's like the working man's like wrestler. You know what I mean? So this is great. And I think that if anybody was to grab the title from Gunther, I could see him putting it in the hands of Sami, because he definitely deserves it. So, I can see that. So I'm pretty excited about that. Adam, I agree with you. I was really excited with the Bayley storyline and everything, but that they have not done well with that story. And I am not I hope Bayley wins, but
Agreed.
I'm not looking for the end of this story at this point. Oh, they all turned on her. That was creative. Come on. But I do, wherever we're going with Becky, I'm excited for that match. But wherever we're going with Becky and Liv and Nia and the champ, that's got me intrigued. I love this. I love Nia just being a bruiser in the back of in the locker room. I love this. I love that they keep doing this. She is just coming in whenever she wants and literally throwing people around. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited for that match. And then, of course, Adam talked about, this tag team match, which I agree absolutely that, that the Bloodline is going to win this, because that sets up for a way better match and a way better possible Cody Rhodes victory than having them with everybody barred from the ring. So
yeah, you could do anything from a return, a debut, Rock turning.
Yeah. Like you can't give this one to them, to Cody and Seth, right?
No.
But is it a Seth turn? There's a lot of chatter about that. I don't think so either. Turn's
been too short. No.
Here's the thing, though. What about Drew showing up and getting them disqualified?
Bloodline rules.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
There won't be any disqualification.
You've got Seth and Drew too in this. So what if Drew shows up, gets them disqualified, just comes in and just rocks Rollins or something on the outside of the ring, and then jumps in the ring and does something to get him disqualified?
To that point, the way the promo went down, sorry, Ben, then I'll get to you. Monday Night Raw last night, wasn't that maybe hinted at? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
If
man.
that match takes place on night one, Drew and Rollins are free night two. Maybe something gets through in these promos to Drew, and Drew's the surprise one to come in and finish up the bloodline. Drew, Randy, those are two names we haven't talked about. Randy wanted to annihilate the bloodline.
Yes.
Drew doesn't like them, but Drew says he's moved past it. Drew can be a surprise, but I really think we're overlooking Randy.
Look, no, because Randy's building a little crew now too. Yeah, yep. I love KO and Randy. I love these guys. I am so excited about this. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen, because it's Randy and he can turn on anybody at any time. But I'm so excited for this little matchup between the two of them, man. That is awesome. That is putting two really good characters together, so like, wouldn't surprise me. And then you've got, the Uso versus Uso. That goes down. I like that. That'll be a fun match. And who knows what the hell is going to happen during that? There could be all kinds of people all over that match.
Super kicks everywhere.
Seriously. Like this.
Ben, what about you?
Make that a lumberjack match.
Well, you really want these lumberjack matches, don't you, Charlie?
I love them. I love lumberjack matches, man. They're fun. Get to see everybody out there. They're fun.
Ben. So you're going to like my take.
Go ahead.
This is where I'm going with this. I feel like the way that the locker room can turn this on its head is even if Rock and Roman win night one, everyone that they've screwed along the way comes out behind Cody, says, look, Rock will win this match for you, but we'll keep those guys at bay. And so it becomes a de facto lumberjack match of, no, Cody and Roman, you're one-on-one. We'll take care of the rest of these guys. And that to include AJ Styles, to include all face heel does not matter.
LA Knight, everyone. Yep.
They're
Randy, like, Kevin, Drew, Seth. Yes.
We are done being screwed by the bloodline. This ends tonight. Cody, finish your story. We're coming for you next. But for tonight, that's where I would take that and put not just the universe behind Cody, but the locker room to finish that story. And that's how you can take this to go the full distance with it and still take it and turn on its head.
It's how you officially crown Cody the official face of WWE.
Yeah, and it's got to be something like that, right?
Right?
Like, in the end, when this championship match happens, and we all are in agreement here that we know where the tag team match is going, like, it's got to be one side of the locker room versus the other side of the locker room, right? It's how this whole thing's got to go down. How exciting. WrestleMania 40, the biggest brawl in WrestleMania history. Let all the storylines tie in along with it.
Make it a true Philly street fight while we're at it. Why not, right? So that's what's all heading.
It's like Ben said, everyone that the bloodline is screwed over the last 3 years comes out and says, we have had enough of your BS. Our jobs are not going to be threatened by Dwayne. And they are coming out and are making a statement. You can do whatever you want, Monday Night Raw, post-Mania. Do whatever you want. But if everyone, or at least the main players, the bloodline is screwed over, Randy, Drew on more than one occasion, Logan Paul, LA Knight, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, you name it, whoever they've screwed over.
Judgment Day. I mean,
all of them.
Yep.
I love it. You have all those look, and when it all goes down, you've got somehow through all of it, say Styles and LA end up next to each other. You know what I mean? A couple of pairings out there. Logan Paul somehow ends up right in between Randy and KO. Gee, what's gonna happen?
Right.
They could do so much.
Gets thrown out the window there. There's no faces. There's no heels. It's everyone the bloodline is screwed over the last 3 years. Or again, at the very, you need someone to deal with Jimmy, someone to deal with Solo, someone to deal with The Rock. So you need at least three main players to contend with them to allow Cody to go and fight Roman one-on-one. And then you can have the locker room come out on the top of the stage afterwards, confetti's flying, fireworks are going off, and the locker room's at the top of the stage, basically saying, thank you, the bloodline is finally crushed. WWE's free.
What if CM Punk is who stopped Heyman from interfering?
That would be cool.
I mean, they have the Paul Heyman guy.
He'd have to be on commentary.
Right.
How about...
So it's an easy enough fit where I think you can pull it off, and it gives Punk that main event Mania spot without being his match yet. Again, my disdain for Punk is well documented. I'm not going to go into that right now, but that would be a good way to use
another podcast.
That's a good way to use a guy that I hate to help the story, though, right?
Yeah.
Right. Part of making this whole thing work.
Yep.
How about R-Truth comes out and saves everybody? Takes The Rock out himself. John Cena right behind him.
This has gone way too far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're off the rails now. But you know what? What kind of pop would that get? Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. I mean, talk about
everybody loves the Acclaimed. But all right, so coming back into this, I want to start a debate here with you guys a little bit. I think we got some different takes to go with this. We've already touched on this a little bit, but should WrestleMania have gimmick matches?
Yes.
Yes or no, and why?
Charlie, go ahead. You start.
Because they're fun. And on a show that long, right? And it's the premier event, but you still got to have a little bit of filler in there as well. And you can always use a gimmick style match. They're always entertaining. You know what I mean? Throw a 6-team ladder match in there, because we can. Let's do it kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it's fun. It makes you, take a break from some of the more, intense storylines and just have a little bit of fun with it. And you need that throughout a show that long, no matter what the program is. You got to have, maybe not some hardcore drama stuff, but you got to have a little, little bit of fun in there.
Okay. Adam, where are you coming out with this one?
Yes. They are, and it's just as simple as if there's something that furthers a story or ends a story, then yes. Triple H, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, Shawn Michaels, special guest referee. Hell in a Cell made it that much more interesting. Yes, gimmick matches should be allowed. You want to call a triple threat a quote-unquote gimmick match because it's not a 1v1? Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania 30. You have so many spots. Shane, Undertaker, Mania 32, Shane falling off the cage. I think it was Mania 32. There were so many times that gimmick matches can and should work. If there is a really heated, intense feud that needs a street fight, end it at Mania with a street fight. If there's something that a feud needs a steel cage for, end it inside of a steel cage. It should be allowed at Mania. Doesn't matter if it's WWE, if it's AEW, if it's TNA, if it's New Japan. If a gimmick match serves the purpose to further a storyline or end a storyline, then yes, the gimmick match should be allowed.
Okay. And then I'll flip this question a little bit on.
How do you feel, Ben?
Well, what about you?
Yeah, how do you feel about it, Ben?
You're not dodging this question.
So I feel like we should see one night reserved for gimmicks essentially, one night for call it pure wrestling. I mean, and that's what I'm going with is this. It's that I want my gimmicks to be used correctly, but I also acknowledge that without gimmick matches at Mania, we don't have TLC.
Correct.
So it's you use a good example too with Hell in a Cell being used again at Mania. One of my favorite traditions that has kind of died of late has been the ladder match at WrestleMania.
Yep.
But they got that.
So,
but
the first time in
years,
4
that's
years?
where you could. Yeah, but like you said, like ladder matches for years before Money in the Bank pay-per-view was its own thing. That was one of the attractions of Mania. Was welcome to the showcase of here's who WWE thinks they could push. Entertain you on the biggest stage for one of the biggest prizes for the entire year to hold. That was a draw for Mania.
Yeah. But you hit it right on the head, Adam, because now it got its own pay-per-view. Like the ladder match was so beloved, it got its own show with Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
so now they got to fill it with
same
something
thing,
else.
right?
Yes.
So Extreme Rules, like all these things, they have these events. So to me, it has to be very carefully chosen. Me, I'm a sucker for like the shark cage matches, like making like suspend the interfere. Like, give me a spot where that guy's hanging above the ring. We know he's going to drop a weapon. We know something stupid's going to happen. But give me that. Give me use these things. If there's a story that keeps being interfered with, put them in a Hell in a Cell. So no one else can get in. It's just you two finish this and be done. Again, I'll often be used to the purpose of advancing the story, closing the story, and not just a prop to make the story more fun. It should be with purpose.
Hell in a Cell should not have its own pay-per-view. Extreme Rules should not have its own pay-per-view. Money in the Bank was so influential. Yes, that should have its own pay-per-view because now you can build a show and build storylines for a month up to a big event like Money in the Bank.
Right.
But when you want to save Hell in a Cell for very specific feuds, specific moments, if it qualifies, right? Like, for example, we rarely ever see an I Quit match because no wrestler that has anything that wants to, no wrestler wants to say I quit. No one wants to sit there and verbally give up. But you know what? With a feud that Edge and Christian are having, built into their 20-plus year friendship, considering they've been friends since they were kids,
right?
That's ending in Toronto in an I Quit match on AEW Dynamite. On a show in their hometown or near their hometown where they grew up, where they started wrestling, the gimmick match serves its purpose. If you were to tell me, let's just say, for example, LA Knight AJ Styles, say this thing had an off and on feud built for 3 to 6 months, then you have that spot at the Chamber where things had finally boiled over for LA Knight, has had enough with AJ's BS. You've screwed me over now for 4 or 5 months. This ends at a street fight at Mania. This ends inside of a steel cage. Let it serve a purpose to have the match there. Like, if you want to have Extreme Rules, fine. But save some of these crucial gimmicks, these gimmick matches, for a purpose, for a storyline, not just dedicate a whole show to it.
So this is where I'll kind of cover a little bit. I think this is where I think that throughout the course of the year, I'm like the idea of the old model of kind of every other pay-per-view is that gimmick pay-per-view. So for every fast lane, there should be Money in the Bank. Or, with the exception, of course, being Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania. Like, those are obviously, they stand on their own, right?
Correct.
But when you get to the between months, I mean, how do you fill August to January otherwise? So I think having that piece, like Extreme Rules, I used to love that being December, is a nice way to bridge you to, okay, we kind of close this thing off. We can kind of get off into give me the Rumble match, give me Elimination Chamber, and let's go. You know, that's I enjoy that format. Give me some spots here to have a. Once that's done, give me some normal ones. Backlash. I like the idea of Backlash.
Or Night of Champions made a lot of sense.
Yep. So again, using these things to their advantage, and creative has to think a little bit past what's in front of them, but also look down 4 or 5 shows from now. How can they build this thing? We're starting to see that a little bit taking place. I want to see it a lot more.
Yep.
NXT.
I'm with you, Ben. With talking about those months there in fall, so like Hell in the Cell is like the perfect thing for like October.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like that. It makes sense to me, and it for me, a giant cage match is a great center point for a pay-per-view, and to have its own. You know, I mean, because you can put some great matches, and we've seen some incredible stuff happen from the tops of some of those cages and all, you know?
I'm with you. Looking at what we have for cage matches currently, whether it's Blood and Guts with AEW or Survivor, War Games, WWE, like those are fun matches. They have their place.
Absolutely.
Look at what Lethal Lockdown used to do for TNA.
Right. Like, give me something where you can, again, make this thing work for you and not just be I don't know. Use it correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. But, you know, shout out to this a little bit. We're kind of seeing some of the fallout now coming from AEW Revolution. We've seen the debut of Okada. Tomorrow, we get to big business. So, overall, stories are progressing. I still think we're in a good spot. But what has you intrigued now? Obviously, Adam, you're a little bit tainted here because tomorrow's a big day for you. But for the rest of us, what else has us hooked looking at AEW move forward here? And Charlie, what have you wanted to check in? What's going on?
So, I want to see, especially what goes on with the tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like, so I think that'll be interesting. And I want to see, just like Adam, I want to see what goes down with Okada. I think that's going to be cool as well. I'm still, waiting for the meat match. So,
right,
yeah, that's what I want.
They say we're still going to get
it. We say we're still going to get it. I want it. That's what I'm looking for.
Show versus match Wardlow, you'll get it.
And they canceled it. Anyway.
Well, no, they said that it's postponed. Is what I read officially. It said some of the participants weren't able, to come off of injury or whatnot, so they want to do it right. So they want, they want these guys playing with the meat the right way, right? So I get it. We can't have meat injuries out there. Guys got to be healthy. Got to get in a good session with your meat and be healthy for it.
You right there, Adam? You okay, bud?
I don't know if AEW devolved into barbarianism, but okay.
So tomorrow, big business. Our boy Adam's going to be there.
I will be there live. So looking forward to the show.
Besides Mercedes is going to happen to change the wrestling world tomorrow night.
What's going to change the world?
It's kind of a lackluster show, if I got to be honest. Unless we get the start of the tag title tournament. Which, like Charlie, that is going to be a ton of fun. That tournament in and of itself is going to be fire. It's going to be amazing. When you have tag teams like FTR, the Young Bucks, Lucha Brothers, if Rey Fenix comes back, House of Black, Private Party. I know they're not super, but you have a lot of these up-and-coming tag teams. FTR, you could literally build the entire thing around. Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah, and FTR, Young Bucks, like you could have an entire tournament just based around these guys, and it's going to be amazing. I'm so looking forward to this tournament. I hope it starts tomorrow, but you have Darby versus Jay White. Let's see how much Darby's learned. I can't wait to see him take on a guy at Jay White's caliber.
Right.
2-time former IWGP heavyweight champion, world heavyweight champion, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be a fun match. You get the new Elite versus I forget who the heck the three are. Don't care. I get to see Okada live. I just where does maybe we finally get the Joe and Wardlow segment, right? Like this is going to be Joe Wardlow 3 or 4, I think, in a singles match, and now with the world title on the line instead of the ROH TV title or the TNT title. People forget these two have fought before for championships, and now it's for the biggest prize in AEW. Like that intrigues me. What other surprises, right? Like, is Britt Baker finally going to make her long-awaited return? Right? Like, what is Roderick Strong going to have an open international title match? What's Pac going to do? He's finally back. Like there's a lot of things that. Huh?
He's with Penta and Eddie Kingston for that new Elite match.
That's it. Eddie Kingston was the other one. Right. I wanted to say Samoa Joe. Sorry, Eddie. But like that, these are some of the things that really intrigue me for AEW big business is just progressing the storylines, progressing Christian Cage and Edge's storyline for their I Quit match. Not tomorrow night. Next Wednesday in Toronto for their I Quit match for the TNT title. Again, gimmick matches. We go back to it again. Gimmick matches. It just makes sense. So I'm interested. Big business is going to do a lot of business. It's going to push a lot of these storylines forward. Maybe we get the bracket that comes out tomorrow for the tag title tournament. I don't think they didn't come out with an end date for when they want to have the finals, right? Is it Dynasty? Dynasty seems like it would make sense.
I don't know. They haven't put out all the details yet, have they?
That's what I'm hoping we get tomorrow, too.
That might be a little tight. I'm going to guess that we'll probably see something more. I don't know. We double or nothing.
Dynasty makes sense because Dynasty's the end of April. You have 6 weeks and 3 shows a week to accomplish this.
I kind of want it longer than that.
Name the tag teams. I rattled off like 8.
Yeah.
Well, have a round robin tournament.
You got Jericho. Sorry, you got Jericho and Hook going against Gates of Agony, which to me it's just an odd bedfellows here with Jericho and Hook. Just doesn't.
Is that tomorrow?
That is tomorrow.
Can we move that shit to Rampage?
It's always fun to see Jericho, though.
Even though I'm going to see that anyway because it's taped, can we get it off Dynamite?
So
I'm sorry, the match don't make sense.
You get Will Nightingale and Riho, by the way, also. So
yes, that's the other one. I've never seen a full Willow Nightingale match, so it'll be fun to see that match. And with all due respect to Riho, I don't think she's that good.
No, so I think we get Mercedes coming down. I think we get some. I think some people come back.
I'll say this: if you look at the promotional poster, Ben and Charlie,
yeah,
there is one person on that promotional poster that is not advertised for this show in any way, shape, or form.
Who is that?
That's Julia Hart. I mentioned this weeks ago. Yeah. Depending on what happened after Revolution. Well, we already know Mercedes versus Tony is not happening. Deanna came out and interfered. This is not over. Or Tony comes out and says, okay, I've had enough of this. Wendy Richter, get out here. I'm kicking your ass. And then Mercedes, music drops. And then you can have a triple threat. And, you can do so many things, right? You can do so much with this. But, I would like to see Julia test everything she's learned and how much she's grown as a wrestler against someone of Mercedes' caliber. Or, heck, to put her against someone like Deanna. The Blackpool Combat Club can go and do anything. There's so much you can do with this show. The Gates of Agony versus Jericho and Hook does not make sense for this show. For Rampage? Sure, because of the storylines you're telling. I'm not excited for Jericho and Hook versus the Gates of Agony. I don't care.
Right.
With all due respect to Rampage, put that shit on Rampage.
One little poke I gotta make here is the only national G, by the way, is the Packers, but forget them Bulldogs.
What happened?
Anyway,
wait a minute.
How many y'all got in a row?
Did the Packers just sign someone again?
Is it another running back?
Was it another running back? No, they just got rid of 2. Let's
They
not
gotta bring
mention
on one
Aaron
more.
Jones to the Packers fan here. Oops, sorry. I said it.
Okada's a bum. Yeah, no.
We got $7 million.
Yeah,
We can throw-
exactly.
we can
Bitter
throw
grapes from the
That's a-
Packers fan who
that's a
has Aaron
well-paid
Jones
bum.
going in division to face him twice a year.
But anyway, so all that you got that going. I think tomorrow's a big night. We'll see what happens. There's more to it. We're getting that's
We're
not
missing
what,
some big piece. We're missing some big piece that has not been announced.
right. So
Adam hopes. He just wants more because he's going to be there.
Can you not spoil my debut tomorrow night, please? Jeez, Charlie. I'm kidding.
they're gonna hit Adam Cole's music, and we're gonna see our Adam walk out instead. And
Listen, when they chant his name, there's not much different from his last name and my last name. I'm just saying.
so, oh, come on, baby. Let's keep moving this thing along. So, what else is happening in the wrestling world? Right now we've got the tournament in New Japan. Adam, want to run it down for me a little bit?
Yeah, there's the New Japan Cup going on right now, and just one notable name that's in it is Jack Perry, who also recently joined the House of Torture. I get why the stable broke off the Bullet Club, and I don't care. But I think him going on, I think for him it's kind of like an excursion, and maybe now AEW and New Japan have an excursion program with each other. Like Jack Perry needed something, and now he's over in New Japan. Whether that's permanent, whether this is a super long story, I have no idea, but that's interesting. Now post Ospreay, post Okada, how is this being a showcase tournament for this new young talent? Shota Umino, Jack Perry, Ren Narita, this next crop of guys, those should be the next 2. Like, how is this next crop of talent going to come up to step up with 2 big vacancies in the company?
Good call.
And of course, the winner of the New Japan Cup does get a shot at the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
So who do you want right now? If you're booking, if you were creative, what are you doing here?
Feed someone to Naito, but someone you want to build up. I don't know if Saber's in the event. Give Saber the win.
Okay.
He's with someone that they have a lot of high hopes for, held that TV title for a year. He's someone that they're very high on. So maybe let Saber win it and take a shot at Naito. Do I think Saber can fill one of those 2 holes? No. But I think it would give him a good opportunity to showcase what he's got.
Okay. I like that. TNA, looking forward to the Sacrifice event. Not a whole lot of title movement besides the tag team titles here, but I mentioned before the show a little bit too. So a lot of old WWE names now cropping up here in TNA. Definitely catches my attention. I mean, whether you're looking at Grizzly Young Veterans, Yoshida, Mustafa Ali, Eric Young, these guys are all over the place in this card. Credit to Moose for pulling out the win there too. Whether it was clean or not, he got his win, darn it. But no, I mean, overall, TNA is catching my attention. What I'm looking at here is the buzz that we're getting online. We're getting from summaries. It looks like TNA is really stepping up and kind of pulling a fan base again, which I think will help us see the improvement to AEW's product consistently again. That there's been something missing for a lot of people. I think this is going to help push that next layer up for AEW to step forward. That's just one man's opinion here.
I honestly don't think AEW's got anything to be scared of with TNA.
No.
It's not to be scared of. Not to be scared of, but you can still be pushed by a non-threat. You can still be.
I'm looking at some of the lineup for TNA, the roster right now. like Rhino and stuff. Like, yeah.
If people didn't start pushing Josh Alexander's name, I would not have known who the heck he was, nor, with all due respect to him, why would I care? Moose, you knew because of the previous iteration of Ring of Honor when eyes were still on that product.
Yeah, that was one that popped out to me. Bully Ray. There's a couple of them on here.
It's weird because guys like EC3, Drew McIntyre, guys like that held TNA up during those weird years were the bright spots of that company.
Seth Rollins.
Johnny Swinger.
When was he with TNA?
Right now.
I'm talking about post Hogan and Bischoff days and post Dixie.
I'll send you a video. Anyway, so
the Rollins, I mean, they're starting to add some folks that are that are at least, maybe if not necessarily huge household names, at least somebody that that you can recognize and know. I haven't paid much attention to it recently, but
I don't get
since you bring it up, and since you brought it up before the show, and looking over the roster a little bit, like I just did, I'm gonna check it out more. I'm gonna give it the old college try.
Right. I don't get the capacity right now. I'm too busy to watch a third wrestling product.
Sorry,
I don't. You're watching like 5 already.
And before everyone out there starts family friendly, bleeping and moaning about TNA's just signing all the WWE guys are coming. Stop it.
Good,
WWE never utilized Mustafa Ali correctly. They butchered Dolph Ziggler after 2012. They did nothing with him. They did nothing with the Grizzled Young Veterans, who are one of the most underrated tag teams on the planet. So I don't want to hear it that it's WWE talent. It's like, no, it's talent that WWE never utilized properly. That's going to go to a company that's going to try utilizing them properly. Just getting that out there now.
Thank you, sir. You are heard and valid. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
Let him bring in DDP. I'll start watching.
Feel that bang.
Hey, you know what?
To do what? DDP yoga for 20 minutes in the middle of the ring?
I'm in.
We're all having a DDP yoga session for free in the middle of the ring?
So while we're talking about all this like weird and out there stuff, like TNA and all, and we brought up, and I actually should have mentioned this when we were talking about gimmick matches and all, but like, how about death matches with Nick Foley?
So,
Mick's crazy, man.
But this is where you go back to like, if someone like New Jack or Mick Foley, for that matter, even were on television today, and I'll even call it the Sammy Guevara suspension by AEW. Like, those things would not fly anymore. There's so many layers of CYA across every organization that you won't see these guys come out here and do this crazy stuff. I mean,
but this is what he wants. I mean, he came out and said that he wants one more match. He wants it so he can get in shape, because this is what kept him. I don't know if Cactus Jack was ever even in shape, let alone Mankind. but at least a healthier shape. And he said that this is what he wants. He wants to come out. He wants to do one more match. He wants to do a death match. Let him hop on TNA as Cactus Jack and finish off the career.
Wait, Mick Foley wants to do another match?
Yeah, he wants to do it. He wants one more match for his career. He came out and said this in like an interview just a little bit ago here, like last week or something. But he wants it to be a death match.
If I were creative,
why?
I would give him Bully Ray.
Why not?
I would give him Bully Ray.
I'd give him Moxley or Matt Cardona.
Bully Ray, to me,
him and Moxley would be great.
Moxley would be great, but
God, that would be an incredible match. Really would.
I think Bully Ray, you have history here for one thing, which goes a long way, right? And so you put a guy like Bully Ray there. He's know how to protect him. He's a veteran. Heck, you can throw Tommy Dreamer there while you're at it. I don't care. It's just call it the busted open death match, and we're fine. Part of the show, guys, if you're into that kind of thing, because the show is fun to listen to, actually. But anyway, that being said, Bully Ray with a death match. To me, I would enjoy seeing Bully Ray bleed in Cactus Jack's hands.
Yeah.
But that's just me. No, look, guys, at the end of the day, we're here to be entertained, right? And we just saw one of the best retirement matches of all time.
That was insane.
Oh. I mean, his son's coming out as in the different characters. I loved that.
It was amazing.
Oh, it's just there's so much to love about the whole build, about the final product, everything. That the bar is set so high now on retirement matches. How do you compete or compare even?
No, death match. Mick already figured it out. He's like, how am I going to top that?
I mean, is Mick going to the glass table instead? I mean, I don't know. But
man, woo! That was nuts.
So
I want to see more of that.
Any other last thoughts before we go? We're kind of getting closer to time. Just want to make sure we're all hitting it. And
I'm good.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited just to build up the WrestleMania. If you guys haven't been watching like the weekly stuff, man, dude, the smacks, man, the midlife crises, all of it, man. I am just eating it up. I am eating it up. Cody handing him a receipt and said it. I love it. I love it. That it's been great. You guys make sure you keep watching because man,
it's a new day.
It's been one of the best.
It is.
Oh boy.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Laters.